What is good, guys? No Sleeps 12 here with another episode of Short Side Wristers. On today's episode, we are going to discuss the new Stanley Cup Edition set, as well as the newly released cards from last week as well, and go into what I think you should look for, even with the lower rated ones that were released. So let's just hop right into it. So with the first round of the playoffs now underway, we got released a couple of lower cards, not so much the 91s that were originally released, but on top of that, we got a bunch of 85 overall cards that will upgrade just like the 80 overall free ones do, and the 91s. Obviously, they've got to go a little bit further, but I was thinking, like, you know, if you invest in a certain few, Chiarelli is one from Tampa. I know that they had that meltdown last night, but I mean, this team is still a powerhouse, and I think they're going to roll and more than likely go on a deep run, because if they win 2 rounds, then that card is going to be a 99, might be something to invest in, especially if it's cheaper. So, you know, if you watch for, I was seeing Chiarelli on a couple of teams, or a couple of cards on the market for under 200K. I know it's 200K for an 85 overall card, but might be a 99. I found that the Stanley Cup pull rates for these cards have just been absolutely brutal, just like Team of the Year, so that's kind of unfortunate. Which leads me into the new set that came out. So you can trade in, basically trade in 5 of the Stanley Cup collectibles. They're going for about 30K right now. That's where they settled in at. And get a 33% chance at a Stanley Cup player item. Now, like, 33% is better than the 20% community one, because I know I traded that in and I got base Sagan. So, I mean, I don't know if I can recommend doing 150 for a card that isn't even going to be a 99, just has the chance to be one. I would truly avoid this set. Now, you can still trade in 18 of them and get a guaranteed 91. But again, you're looking at 540K, where you can just go and buy one that you want for around that price regardless. So the Tampa cards are obviously still stupid expensive, but you might find people that drop them a little bit because of the loss last night, which is what you're going to see throughout the first round. Winnipeg cards specifically, Bufflin and Trouba, I did see that they dropped a little bit as well, and that's just stupid. I think that series is probably going to go 7 games, and, you know, very well, St. Louis looked great, but, you know, I still think Winnipeg's the better team, but it's going to be a long series regardless. Can we just talk for a second about how good my Sharks looked last night? Let's go. Love my Sharks. They looked fantastic. Anyway, so with those 85s, like I said, I wanted to mention, so Tampa, I think that I don't want to say a lock, because, you know, no team's a lock, and they blew a 4-goal lead last night. However, the next round, they're going to get a team in Toronto or Boston that's just going to be, like, Toronto and Boston are going to beat each other up. You know, much like how Nashville and Winnipeg, if all goes to plan, even though the first night did not. You know, by the time they get to the third round, whoever's in that Pacific bracket in that conference final, they're going to be beaten up. So much like who Tampa's going to play. Although Tampa looks to be in tough. And I did say, if Columbus did win the first game, that it would go 7 games. Now, that's still bold, but, you know, heart of hearts says that Tampa's probably going to win in 5, maybe 6 now. So just lastly on the 85 overall cards that were released, if you're new to HUT, maybe you only have 100K, you've been grinding offline challenges, maybe you did 1 or 2 comp seasons, you got, you know, 75K, anything under 100, if you can get an 85 overall card, you might, you know, fall into a 99 or even highly 90 rated if they can make it into the second round. So if you want to call your shot, whether it be with Valtteri Filppula from the Islanders, I mean, that would be a decent one. I personally think they will go into the second round. I think they will beat Pittsburgh in 7. Again, these are all my takes, guys, and they could be totally wrong. And you know, this time of year is fantastic because comments are all like, how are you so dumb? Like, for whatever reason, this gut feeling I have, Toronto's going to win in 5, which is, I know, completely ridiculous. Like, I am a sports fan. I'm a pessimist. It doesn't make any sense, but it's just like I said, you have a gut feeling, So if you have one, maybe it's your favorite player, understand that if they go into the second round, that's the cool thing about these cards. And another great reason why I hope these sets continue in NHL 20. I mean, if there's a way to groove that into just base cards being able to do this, maybe they upgrade for, you know, every, I don't know, couple points, every 10 points, something like that. Like, wouldn't that be sick if we had dynamic ratings? Anyways, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, so like if you have one, like I said, just off the top of my head, Valtteri Filppula would be one. I think that the Islanders might go, into the next round and do some damage, and that would be, I saw him going for like 100K, and might be a decent card to snag. So just watch out for that. If you're trying to make some coins, that would be how. I know it's late in the year, but if you're really trying to just upgrade your team, like you're just dead set on upgrading your team, I would stay away from the Stanley Cup cards just because their inherent risk involved. I mean, you can call your shot, be right, that's fine, but what happens if your team blows a 3-0 lead in the first round when you're basically guaranteed to win? Sports is sports. Why not just go and grab a 99 Team of the Year card? And, those are kind of falling in price because they're not so much the new hotness anymore. And it'll be interesting to see what the NHL, if they do, release anything for the second and third round. I have a feeling they will. I have no idea, though, but I have a feeling that they will. So maybe there's a new Master Set player item, something like that. I don't know what they have planned. So it would be cool. But if you're looking to really upgrade your team, especially for GWC, which is coming up, by the way, I would bank on the 99's Team of the Years or higher end Team of the Years over the Stanley Cup cards, just because there's no risk. You know what you're getting. Speaking of GWC, let's get into that a little bit. The European closed playoff qualifiers for the regionals are taking place this weekend. They start at 8 a.m. Eastern time, so I mean, you really gotta love your Chell to get up to watch those. But I will be streaming and doing some commentary, hopefully, depending on who is streaming their biggies on Saturday. I'm excited. I can't wait to see Hut as the competitive game mode. I know it took a lot of feedback and backlash in the competitive community, which I totally understand, but I think from a viewing experience, it's going to be much better than same versus teams. But it does start Saturday, so I'm excited to see Eki, Ekin, Nipsely, Dominoini, all those guys, Plea. I'm excited to see how them play and see if you can't pick it up. It's so crazy because it's a video game. It's not real hockey, but they play so much differently than North Americans do, and it's great to watch and pick apart what they are good at as opposed to what the NAs are good at when they play quite a bit differently. So if you want to watch that with me, it'll be on my Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/nosleeves12. Just follow me if I'm not live, if you can't catch me while I'm live, and you'll see me go live on Saturday in the morning Eastern time to cover those games. So guys, that is going to do it for Short Side Wristers today. Just a quick one. Again, guys, if you want to reach me, hit me up on Twitter at NoSleevesGaming. I basically live tweeted the whole Sharks game. I was on the edge of my seat for that one. Loved every minute of it. If you ever want to talk hockey, shoot me a DM. You have any questions, I always answer. Sometimes not as quick as I want to, but whenever I get a chance, I do. And catch me live on Twitch Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time to roughly 10 to 11 p.m., depending on how long I feel like streaming. So, guys, that's Monday to Friday. So, guys, I will see you guys around. Have a good one.